Got it! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, guys and ghouls and gals, to Wasteland Active Radio. As always, I'm your gracious host, Crispy, and I'm pleased to bring you a very special broadcast. What's so special about it? We're still going, which means I'm not dead. Every day is a blessing when you're still alive in this pitiful world, you know? Sorry, listeners. In truth, we've got a bit of a problem out here at the station that's got everyone on edge. But we'll get to that in the announcements. As for the weather, things are looking up after Bucket's last forecast, and hopefully my favorite tin can full of pennies sees sunny skies in our future. We've got some new neighbors, the good kind and the bad, and we'll welcome them and others in this week's local news. We're not making money off of them, but I like doing them. So you're getting ad reads again. It's a really big binder. And finally, we'll see if we can get some music to play before I bid you farewell for the week. So with that out of the way, let's move on to announcements, because I really want to get this out there. Alright, listeners, hold on to your hats and keep one in the chamber, because we've had sightings of super mutants in the area. That's right, them big green lugs that are known to turn a caravan into a buffet on the coasts have started working their way inwards, and made their way out here. A little bit before today's broadcast, a Dashwood sniper managed to spot a pair of them hiding in the brush out in the distance. We haven't sent anyone out to deal with them. Sterling wants us to wait and see if they move closer, and has everyone on high alert. The best of the Dashwoods are keeping their eyes peeled. Every patrol has a spotter in the towers the Dashwoods set up within the walls. I don't think I felt more secure with super mutants around than I do right now. Needless to say, the people I've seen up and about have been on edge, and it's showing, despite the level of security. Luckily for us, the Dashwoods out east sent us a detachment of mercs to give us a hand. We'll give them and our other new neighbors a proper introduction in local news. But they're all crack shots with their guns and their bombs and the killing of the monsters. See, they cleaned up most of our raider problems on the way in, too, so we've got that going for us as well, thank goodness. That being said, I think now is a perfect time to share a few hints and tips on how to deal with super mutants. First off, we've got them in the perfect position, because at a distance, even with as tough as they are, they're still susceptible to a bullet through the brain, even if it does take a few more bullets, but we've got plenty of snipers to hold them off. They would need a big army, and super mutants don't tend to travel in big groups. Even when one of them is tough enough to bully other weaker mutants into working for them, these bands don't typically grow to numbers more than 20. Now, when they're at a distance, mutants ain't too tough. But on the off chance you end up going toe-to-toe with one of these big green fools, here's your best advice. Don't. They're built like brick houses, full of angry, smaller brick houses, and will quickly and happily remind you of this fact with a heavy fist to the face. Do everything you can to avoid dealing with super mutants up close. However, they're not very smart, so if you're clever, fast, and a little bit lucky, you could find a good place to hide or lose them in a chase. On the off chance you do get captured, do not panic, but do not stop fighting, because they only capture folks for one reason: food. Don't give up. Just keep fighting in whatever way you can. I hope that helps in any way, dear listeners. I believe that'll do it for the announcements. So let's move on to the weather. Alright, take it away, Bucket. Bucket? Alright, what's wrong now?
Error. Calendar script not found.
Sweet glowing baby Adam! My ear was right next to your speaker,
Beginning weekly weather forecast program. Currently, the temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit, with a high of 72 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear skies expected throughout the next 24 hours. Monday, the temperature will have a high of 73 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 69 degrees Fahrenheit. slightly cloudy with light winds. Tuesday, the temperature will have a high of 72 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Overcast with light winds. Caution: ambient radiation levels to increase starting at 1600 hours. Wednesday, the temperature will have a high of 79 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Overcast with light winds. Caution: 73% chance of radiation storms starting at 600 hours. Thursday, the temperature will have a high of 85 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Overcast with heavy winds. Radiation storm warning will be in effect until error, calendar script not found. Friday, the temperature will have a high of 88 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Overcast with heavy winds. Gusts of up to 20 miles per hour. Radiation storm warning will be in effect until error, calendar script not.
Sorry, folks. 1 second. Come on.
In darkness, the void calls my name. In haunting lullabies, to rust away into Saturday, the temperature will have a high of 82 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Forecast complete. Running diagnostics.
Thanks, Bucket. You strangely depressing toaster, you. A little update on last week's weather forecast. Turns out Bucket's forecast was incredibly accurate. And I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed. Really starting to pull your weight there, Bucket.
Move along, please.
Love you too, bud. Anyway, let's move on to our local news. In local news, we've got new neighbors. We received a detachment of mercs from the Dashwoods, and after getting their names, I'm happy to introduce them. Everybody join me in welcoming Mikey Powers, Bitter Betty Downs, Chuck the Truck Matheson, Taller Eric, Long Leg Larry, Badger Boy Arnold Young, Donnie the Clown, Snake Man, Handsome Jerry, and Scott Quincy. We've also got a team of carpenters that just moved in. Let me introduce Gary Brown, Jay Tyler, and Frank Waters of Brown's Builders. And we've got Blitz, Johnny, Joey, and Spit. Some kids who showed up out of nowhere looking for work. To be honest, we need the extra hands, so the Dashwoods cleared them for entry. They all seem like upstanding folk from what I've seen, and mostly by how willing they were to give me their names. We here at Wasteland Active Radio welcome you to join us here at the station as well. We're growing every day, friends, and all we're missing is you. Yes, you, dear listener. We need all the help we can get, but we're doing it together. 3 seasons and a movie, babies. That's where this settlement is going. Now, in other news, the local crops have begun to... Whoa! This just in, listeners. The Super Mutants outside of the settlement have opened fire on the walls. The Dashwoods are scrambling into action. They're opening fire as well. They're too far away, but the gunfire and explosions have stirred up too much dust to make out any Super Mutants. Oh, hell! They've got mini nukes! The Dashwoods are attempting to advance, but the gunfires keep them pinned down. Looks like the patrols from the south and the west have moved to our northern flank to lend support. Listeners, it may sound grim out there, but the Dashwoods have this handled. They're sending out a small group of mercs to circle around and flank them. Like I said, the Dashwoods have this handled. This will all be over soon, no doubt about that. The Dashwoods have gone behind the dust clouds stirred up by the skirmish. I can't see them, but I can still hear gunshots. Might be too far away for the mic, but I just heard a couple of explosions. The gunfire's getting more spotty. Looks like someone's on the ropes. Fingers crossed it's our guys. Oh, the dust is starting to disperse, and I can just make out some figures. And they're ours! And they're all still standing, too, listeners. Listeners, I'm sorry to leave you, but they're gonna need a hand, and I can figure out what happened down there. I'll be back in just a moment to get the scoop. I won't be leaving you all alone, though. I pre-recorded a couple of ad reads in case of situations like this. Be right back, listeners. Wasteland Active Radio is brought to you by, oh boy, Yum Yum Deviled Eggs. Try our new flavor, Tabasco and Lime. Coming soon to a supermarket near you. Oh. You know, I brought up how I don't trust 200-year-old Salisbury steak last week, but I'm being brutally honest when I say that I never trusted these things, even when they were fresh. The smell, awful. Taste, mediocre at best. And the 2 times I ate them, I got food poisoning so bad, I thought I was gonna die. They would have needed hazmat suits to get my body out of whatever bathroom I died in. I did say twice, because I thought, hey, that first time is just a fluke. No way is that gonna happen again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and I write a strongly worded letter to the Yum Yum corporate offices. Anyway, Wasteland Active Radio is also brought to you by Mamma Mia Frozen Pizza. A taste of Italy waiting in your freezer isn't just a fantasy. Mamma Mia! Pies piled high with your favorite toppings, like pepperoni, sausage, green peppers, mushrooms, olives, and many, many more. Mamma Mia! Get your family a Mamma Mia frozen pizza tonight and feel like a true Italiano chef in only 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Mamma Mia frozen pizza, just like Ma used to make. I've yet to find any of these in an edible condition, and I gotta be honest, a bunch of these pizzas could bring peace to the wasteland. I swear on it. The commercials were always dumb, but I could eat an entire one of those in one sitting right about now. Mamma Mia. Moving on, we're also brought to you by Big Rick's Used Automotive. Come on down to Big Rick's Used Automotive this Halloween season, where our discounts are, bear with me here, spooky. Up to 25% off on select Corvega models until November 5th, after credit approval. Bring in a used car to increase this discount up to 30% total after inspection. Everything has to go, go, go! Yeah, I remember this place. Burnt down, and old Big Rick went missing after collecting the insurance money. Rumor had it that he had a bunch of gambling debts, and rather than pay up, he tried to skip town and was found belly up in a local pond. I was just out of high school when that happened. Man, these ads go way back. Well, that'll do it for today's ads, so let's move on to our next segment. Mamma Mia! Breaking news, dear listeners. I'm being held hostage. A super mutant has managed to break into the station while I was out. He snuck in while I was away and grabbed me from behind when I returned to the station. Does that sound accurate?
Yes, that is accurate.
Do you have a name?
Yes, I call myself Atlas.
All right, Atlas. Would you like to tell me why you haven't popped my head like a gourd full of ground beef?
Yes. You see, I'd like to thank you. I'm a fan of the show, you see.
Really?
Of course. I love how you told me all of your mercenary allies' positions, allowing me to sneak over your west wall when the patrols abandoned their posts.
Oh.
And I'm particularly fond of that robot of yours that didn't react to my entry.
What? Bucket, come on!
Failure to connect to network. Unable to contact emergency services. Attempting again.
You pathetic machine! My apologies. I almost got carried away.
So, why are you really here? Why aren't you using my leg as a toothpick?
That's disgusting. I am not like my brethren. I don't seek to kill just for the sake of killing. I am above those morons who can barely shoot straight, let alone understand simple tactics. I apologize. Almost lost my temper there.
Uh-huh. So, why are you here?
Right, your question. I am here because I refuse to live like the others anymore. Those uncivilized brutes can barely comprehend my genius, and would gladly kill me at the first sign of weakness. Your settlement here seems more welcoming than others, and surprisingly capable, considering your location.
Really? And what makes you think we'll just let you waltz right in and set up shop?
I have something to trade.
We're not interested in severed heads.
Even the severed head of a nightkin?
No, not even... Wait, a nightkin? You mean those super mutants that use stealth boys so much they lost their marbles? That's, oddly specific.
Did you think it was just me and those two brutes I had distracting you while I snuck in? No. I am simply part of a larger group, led by a nightkin calling himself Macklin. His troops are headed this way, and will be here in a few weeks.
That's a bold claim. Well, let's say you're not lying. Why would you tell us?
You summed it up quite well already. Macklin has severe schizophrenia and is tougher than your typical nightkin. However, he is incredibly brilliant, and his intellect allowed him to subjugate a large number of the second-generation super mutants.
Second generation?
Yes. They're more common these days. While I too am a second-generation mutant, I am an anomaly. But we're made from an impure strain of the forced evolutionary virus that increases our strength considerably but diminishes our intelligence. Fortunately, my mind was spared and I reaped the benefits of my mutation to raise my status amongst the super mutants. However, these days I've grown tired of my brethren and their brutish, simple-minded endeavors. I wish to free myself from the cyclical violence that they refuse to pull themselves up from.
Okay, calm down there, bud. Let's get back to this band of mutants you say are on their way.
Macklin has managed to collect a large sample of the FEV and has been using it to mutate people he captures to add to his army. Most of them die. But the mutants that survive are no less powerful than the other mutants. His army has probably reached about 50 by this point, and I believe it's safe to say he should be nearing 100 by the time he arrives here.
All right, I'll humor you and say you're not bluffing, but it doesn't sound like this army's gonna stop pushing east. So what are you even gonna do?
Macklin trusts me. I'll simply go to report to him, get him alone, and crush his ugly head between my bare hands. I mean, I'll assassinate him in his personal tent and quietly leave the camp.
All right, when would you do that?
Piqued your interests, have I? I am scheduled to rendezvous with Macklin in 3 weeks to give my report.
And what about that army of super mutants? You're just gonna leave them there?
I have seen the soldiers that reside here. While they were understandably fooled by my superior intellect, I have a plan to utilize these Dashwoods in scattering his army to the winds. Though I'd rather not discuss the details of such treachery on the air, lest it reach Macklin's ears.
All right, keep your hands above the table while you're stroking your own ego, buddy. But I got one more question before you turn yourself in.
Ask away.
How are we gonna get you to talk to the Dashwoods without being shot on sight?
I hadn't thought about that.
You drop any weapons you have, you'll walk with your hands up. I'll lead the way and introduce you to Sterling. But first, I gotta end this show.
Fine.
Well, dear listeners, that was certainly eventful. It seems for now the super mutant threat is dealt with, and while it seems like our future may be grim, never fear, because I'll be here to soothe your weary ears again before you know it. None of our daring Dashwoods were seriously injured in the attack, so they'll still be watching the walls day and night for your safety. We're growing every day, strengthening our walls, tilling our fields, fighting the good fight. If that sounds like something you want to do, then we'd love to see you out here at the station. Remember to always shoot for the eyes. Good evening, dear listeners. This has been Wasteland Active Radio. Crispy, signing off. Hey, Atlas, do you know how to run recording equipment?
Wasteland Active Radio is created, written, and produced by Z. Hagen and Jay Wilson, brought to you by the record button. Wasteland Active Radio is set in the Fallout video game universe owned by ZeniMax Media and Bethesda Softworks. No copyright infringement is intended. Please support the official release. Thank you. An additional note, the song that you're currently listening to, Lobby Time, is by Kevin MacLeod at incomputech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons. Attribution 3.0.
Oh yeah, I was gonna try and play some music. I'll just see if I can get that goat.
Oh, were you looking for this?
Never mind.